We're starting a new sugya, even though we're finishing off the Pedic. Finishing off the Pedic Shlosha Shochel, Pedic 7 and Brochos.
10 years to fish, so very expensive.
Right? Exactly.
Which is what it should take.
Right. Exactly. And now we're finishing Pedic Shlosha Shochel, but really we're starting a new sugya. As usual, after the Yom Tovim, we like to start a new sugya. It's really a new sugya we're starting, and that's the sugya of Kois Shel Brocha. And what's the connection of Kois Shel Brocha to this week's Pasha? Can anyone tell me?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did he do right after he left the table? He built a grapevine.
What does I? What does I? And it so felt like it has a connection to the Gemara we're going to learn today.
But he had a partner with the son.
So felt like
That's another story.
it has a shaykh as a Gemara we're soon going to learn. But Mitzvah Shem, we're starting to learn now the sugya of Kosh HaBroch. It's not a very big sugya. It's one daf in Gemara here, and there is 7 Simonim Shulchan Aruch. Tomorrow Mitzvah Shem we're going to do from Simon Kuf Pei.
Didn't we do already? Was it with you, with Yalta and Rav Nachman?
Yes, we did once as a Yoitzim and a Klal. It was a one-off shir. Recently, it was a one-off shir that we did the story of Yalta and Nachman. We're not really holding there.
Okay.
We're holding Daf Nun Amid Beis in the top of the page, towards the top of the page. It's like 8 lines from the top, and the first word is Ein. Ein Mevorchim Alayayin.
Okay. But 10, 12.
11 lines from the from the top. Ein Mevorchim Alayayin.
That's from the Mishnah.
The Mishnah said that there was a machloikis. When it comes to a Kosh Shel Baracha, there was a machloikis. According to the Belazer, you have to put in water.
Right.
And according to Chachamim, you don't must put in water to the yain. Yeah. So in those days, the wine was very, very powerful.
Well, we see the Tanoim had 7-8 weeks until Shavuos had to recuperate from
Right,
Pesach.
like the Rebbe Yehuda Rebbe Loi, exactly. It took them 7 weeks to recuperate. But
From the iron.
But there was real not stuff behind there.
exactly. So they put 3/4 water and 1/4 wine. It was not if you drank plain wine, it was no good. Before you put in the water, because it's too strong, so it's not really worthy to have the bracha b'rei p'rei like a potato before you cook it. Elo b'rei p'rei because it grows from a tree.
Once it's yayin,
It grows from a tree. It's b'rei p'rei. V'noitlim mimenu layadayim. But you could use it to wash your hands.
But the yayin.
Rashi explains why.
Contradiction.
Rashi says not a contradiction. Because it's not wine, what is it? It's mei pedis. It's the water of pedis. So because it's a water of pedis, it's water. What is fruit? Fruit juice.
The water of pedis.
What is fruit juice? Oh, so this one for it is a little more choshev, and you make a 8. So good point. It's for it a little more choshev, and you make a 8. However, it's not choshev enough to make a gofen, but it still goes under the label fruit juice. So it's juice, it's water, it's mei pedis. What is fruit juice? It's water.
It's like grape juice, you say.
Yeah. Once you put in the water, you could make a bracha b'rei p'rei gofen, and you don't use it for netilas yadayim. Why?
Is it a bizayin if you use something like for food?
Oh, good question. L'chayr is a bizayin. The Gemara will deal with that in a minute. But it's a raya that Rebbe Lezer holds that we don't care about bizayin of oichlin. We don't. Divrei Rebbe Lezer is the words of Rebbe Lezer. Good question. Exactly. It's a raya that Rebbe Lezer is not concerned about bizayin oichlin. Obviously, right? Not only is he not concerned about bizayin oichlin, there is, as we'll see from Toysus and the Rishonim, there is bizayin oichlin, and then there's even worse, hefsed oichlin. So I'm not sure it's as bad as baltashkes. Why? I'll explain to you in a minute. If it was baltashkes, how could Rabbi Elazar say it's permissible? The Torah says you're not allowed to do baltashkas. So the answer is it's not baltashkas. Why? Because to me, I love to wash my hands with wine. So I could wash my hands with some solution that they sell in a bottle. It's very expensive perfume that they sell in a bottle for $25.99.
You talk about my Macroin?
You know, women get schmears to their face, right? Yeah. So women love to try this and that and the other things. You know, they're always a different thing. So it was once my wife was trying. So she bought coconut butter. So first she was using it to cook.
Coconut oil?
It was very good.
Coconut oil?
Yeah, coconut oil,
it's very
coconut
good
butter. Then she read on the internet it's very good to smear in your face.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of using it to cook, she was smearing it on her face.
I'm assuming.
And she said, "Hey, here I pay for a schmear $34.99 for a little one like this. Here I got a big jar for $12.99 at Costco. Is the kedai, right?
Yeah.
Here you can't say baltashkas. What baltashkas? Why is it baltashkas?
You're using it.
The little one jar was $34.99.
The concept.
So therefore, I think that even Rabbi Elazar, everyone over, no one's going to say here that we're dealing with baltashkas.
But wait a minute. I'm assuming this whole Gemara is talking where the guy doesn't have water. Lechatchila to do it. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense.
Why? He likes it on his hands. He thinks he read somewhere on the internet that if you wash your hands with wine, you're going to live an extra 20 years.
So you have to find it in the Mefarshim and the Rishonim. How could you?
The question is, what is food made for? To be consumed or to be used for a person? That's the question here. For both.
So,
you have to assume
but probably
there was no water.
It could be there was no water. We'll get that.
I don't know. That would be.
But
my
what's if the
assumption
person?
Unless you prove me it.
What's if the person decided that this is just like I'm telling you? Hard to imagine.
What you're giving an example makes sense with the Shmirax.
But here it doesn't make sense. I hear. Maybe it didn't have. I hear. Chacham say that always you could use it to bari pregofen. The Gemara will explain soon that the reason, but it's always considered wine. With water, without water, better with water, but it's always has the chshivus of wine. Chacham say you're not allowed to use it from the tilas yadayim. Most of the Rishonim say why? Because you're being mevaza oichlin. We're doing worse. You're making oichlin mos. You're making it repugnant. You're doing even worse. You're doing hefsed oichlin. Because that wine goes in the garbage. Who's going to drink this wine right now? Do they hold that the hefsed is baltashchis? I don't think so. I haven't seen any Rishonim or Acharonim says such a thing. You could say that there's a machlokes in the definition of baltashchis. Well, I can hear that. I'm just telling you that I didn't see someone say that. Okay. Zok the Gemara.
But where does it say that that's the reason they put in water because it was too strong?
The Gemara Babasra, the Gemara Shabbos, we'll get to
says that's the reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because today they put in the Mekubalim put 3 drops in.
Oh, we'll get to that exactly.
And the Hasidim put 3 drops into the bottle.
Yeah. We don't.
Whoever should do it.
Right.
No, we wipe out.
It's a pikabola. Right. We don't do that. It's a pikabola. Come on, Oslo. It's brought in the base Yosef. We'll get to that. Come on, Oslo. Shmuel. Shmuel said, and whose opinion is this? What did Shmuel say? A person could use pas for whatever he wants. You could use it as a shmear for your face. You could smear it on your hands. Whatever Mishagas felt it on. Oh, come on. Who's that? Rabbi Eliezer. That is like Rabbi Eliezer. You see, Rabbi Eliezer said, if you want to wash your hands with wine, you can wash your hands with wine. So, if you could wash your hands with wine, you can rub your face with bread. So many Rishonim say, aha. So the halacha is always like chachamim. So it must be that the halacha is that you're not allowed to use pas and you're not allowed to use the yain. Other Rishonim say no. The Gemara didn't mean that Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Eliezer are exactly the same thing. Taked the halacha is against Rabbi Eliezer, but it is like Shmuel. And what did they explain like this? And this is based. Tosfos says this, and then other Rishonim basically. This is a sort of a long Tosfos here. Kaman Oz lahodam Rabbi Shmuel Rabbi Eliezer. They explain there's two things. There is bizoyin oichlin, and then there is hefsed oichlin. Bizoyin oichlin means you mavazad oichl, but it's not going in the garbage. It's not going in the garbage. For example, Tosfos brings, in those days it was a fancy style that they used to make a spoon out of a piece of bread. It's a bizoyin to the bread, but it's not making it hefsed. At the end, you go and you eat up the spoon. You ever saw fancy restaurants?
I will tell you, by a wedding I went to, they used a circular bread, like a pita bread.
They put soup in.
Oh, that's what I said. Exactly.
Is that a bizoyin also for the bread?
It's mamish ha-tosfos. So they talking about the spoon and you're talking about a bowl, but it's the zel bazach, the zel b'shayla. Are you allowed to do that? So he brings up, the Tosfos brings up, Raisi, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to make a spoon out of bread. Then obviously the loch would be you're not allowed to make a bowl out of bread. The zel bazach, because it's bizoyin. Tosfos argues, and Rishonim argue, la loch l'paskin l'kula, that what we say like this. There's two things. There is making a bizoyin. It's a bizoyin to use bread as a choshev thing, and it's oichel, and it sustains a person. And you're making a joke out of it. You're making it into a dish. You're making it into a spoon. You're making it into a bowl. It's a bizoyin. You can't say it's hefset. You're not throwing it in the garbage. You're not throwing it in it's not a hefset. It's not mose. It doesn't become mose. When you put soup in that thing and you put a piece of cheese on the top or you put croutons in, you're not making it mose. You're not making it hefset. You're not throwing it out. And lamai, it's a bizoyin. So they say like this. Rabbi Eliezer said, not only it's mutter to make bizoyin, you're also allowed to make hefset oichlan. Shmuel didn't say that far. Shmuel said you're allowed to make bizoyin of the oichel, not allowed to make hefsed of the oichel.
Unless you consider hefsed if you don't use it for the purpose that it's intended for. Bread is intended to eat. If you use it for any other purpose, consider it hefsed.
But I made sure they put extra bread.
If you're not going to eat it later,
they put it.
Then it's a hefsed. But the shaila is if you're going to eat it later. The truth is, in these chasnas, there's really the truth is maybe l'kulam it's also to do. Because in these chasnas, who's going to eat it? No one's really eating it.
They're eating the soup.
If you're making it at home,
they want to eat it afterwards.
You're going to eat it afterwards. Tell me, who is going to, in front of polite company in a chasna after they finish eating the soup?
Take a knife or even...
Yeah, and start eating that bowl. I wouldn't do that, right? You wouldn't do that. So maybe l'chulam it's also. But at home, you would do it. Why not? If you finish eating the soup and this, why wouldn't you eat the bread? So this would be told in this machloikis rishonim. Some say, no, Shmuel and Rabbi Eliezer meant the same thing, and the loch is not like them. It's also to use bread for anything. Forget it. You're not allowed to make a spoon out of it. You're not allowed to make a bowl out of it. It's also. And be absolutely also to what they do today in these chasnas. But the other Rishonim say, no. We all agree, la halacha against Rabbi Eliezer. You're not allowed to make oichlin hefsed or mose to ruin the oichlin, not allowed to. But if you're going to eat it, elamai, so then it's mutter. One is a Tosfos says a pshara. What you can do is, he said there is, and the Rosh brings it from the Balai Tosfos that used to like this, when they had a spoon and they used to give them, like they came to a fancy chasna in Germany, and they would serve them soup with bread spoons, spoons made out of bread. So they would eat, and every time they ate another spoon of soup, they'd eat a piece of the bread. So now it's like eating a sandwich. It's a bizoyin to eat a sandwich. It's not a bizoyin to eat a sandwich. I'm eating the cheese with the bread. It's not a bizoyin. So they would eat the soup and bite off a piece of the spoon at the same. So I would say there's other eights. If you come to a chasna and they serve you bread, if you scrape off a little bit of the bread of the thing, so that's the eights of Tosfos. So then l'chulam, what do you do wrong? You're actually eating the bread. You're eating the bread. You're also eating the soup, but you're also eating the bread, so it's not a problem. We'll talk about this soon. It's a goyish shtick that when a team wins, that they take out bottles of champagne.
They open up and split, right?
Yeah. Is that mutter or not?
They open up what?
Obviously, the goyim are not asking me if it's
Never
mutter.
shake
Why did
hands,
I
pop
do? I
champagne,
didn't even
just
know
go
these
ahead.
No, you never see it.
I'm an Amoretz with
No, come on. They
Well, does it by their Goyish New Year. They do the same thing, right?
right. New Year's they do that also.
Well, you know, I know when they have a new boat, a cruise line, and then they take this. I remember.
They break it on the
With a
Christian-
string,
the
when they
Christian-
throw it, and it breaks on the thing.
Oh, does it?
This
This is so New Year's, the new boat.
No,
and
New Year's they drink it.
No,
but they pop the screw,
and
the
then they
cork,
spritz it, and
they
then not
spritz
only
it
that,
out.
they shake it. They take the bottle of champagne, and they shake it, and then they open it, and then they let the water spritz. So the shaila is if it's mutter or not.
A guy can.
The pashas it's also.
A guy has rules of baltashas like we have as far as food. I mean, or you mean if the yid could do it?
Yeah, I meant if a yid could do it. Yeah, if a goy has rules of batash, is a good question. I don't know. It's a good question.
Not the
I
Sheva
think about
Mitzvah
it.
B'nai Noach.
That the Sheva Mitzvah B'nai Noach also has a whole around. La Sheva Sitzora.
Yeah.
Is a goy allowed to ruin the environment? Is he allowed to just
Pollute everything.
pollute this whole world again, the ganze Welt again? That is a goy allowed to do that?
Of
I'm
course
not
not.
sure.
I don't
Probably
think so.
not. It says Loid l'soy beroel l'sheva sitzora. They have to make the world a nice place. If you're gonna dump all these pollutants into the air and into the water and poison this whole universe, I don't know if that's what the Eibishter meant. The goyim is supposed to make that nice place. They're supposed to make this place a garden.
Greener planet.
Yeah. Not, okay, maybe not all the Mishigasim, but not also not to ruin the place. So same thing about Tashkas. Could be like there's a lot of mitzvahs that are misvara, and they could go in because one of the mitzvahs is dinim. They're supposed to be dinim. So could be this goes into dinim.
Another question: if a guy owns a wine store, he knows it's Erev Rosh Hashanah for the guy, and he's selling champagne, then he knows what they can do with it. Is he allowed to sell it to them?
Right. Okay. So it depends on your first shaila.
Or the birthday too.
Birthday cake.
Yeah. No, but the gay people eat.
What do they do with the birthday?
They throw in people's faces. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Three Stooges.
I don't watch that, but the people for birthdays for a prank, they're throwing people's faces like when a person turns 50 or 75.
Yeah.
I never heard from some
Mishigas. The Goyish and Mishigas.
Okay, so that lechor is bevade also to do, because it's hefsedoichlin. That lechol day. Rabbi Lezer might say it's mutter, but laloch it's also. That's for sure hefsedoichlin. The reason I'm saying wine made because you'll see soon at the end of the Gemara, there's a few Rishonim that say that wine maybe is a yotzim and a klal, because the Gemara is going to say that those days they used to spritz wine in front of the chos and the kala. So Rashi says, and all the Rishonim say, it didn't mean that the wine didn't fall on the floor. They would spritz it. They would have like this. They would have some pump, and the wine would go shh, and they'd go on the other side. A hin and tzedek. Like a funny,
It went in a cup.
but it went in a cup. They drank it at the end.
Sprinkler back.
Yeah. Other Rishonim say no. They spritzed it into the ear, and it was mutter because it's a special union of yayin and simcha, and it's a moedik thing. So if it like those Rishonim, I would say it's mutter to throw a bottle of wine on the boat and the sports team and New Year's maybe. A Yid shouldn't be at a New Year's party for anyways, but
You hear about it. They go pop the cork. You always hear it. They say now it's a New Year.
Unfortunately, they
Year's.
have guys with
In Eretz Yisrael, it's a big thing.
What, Goyish New Year's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call it Sylvester.
Sylvester?
It's a European
Sylvester
word.
Stallone.
No, it's a minute
No, but that's the Raya. It's unfortunate.
listen, am I shul in the Bronx? Am I shul in the Bronx? They used to have
New Year's party.
Sure.
Yeah, they have a lot of conservative Jews do that.
Yeah, they used to have New Year's party. They used to. They had it boy by yom at midnight. Shvetim decided to make it early.
The model Seder. They do it early.
Yeah, they do it earlier. Like the one. They asked me if I said it's kosher v'yosher is the best thing to do. To do it not by they. If they should, because they had a whole suffix. Because really, New Year's has to be at midnight.
Yeah.
But then people were complaining it's too late. They don't want to go home 1 o'clock. It's not safe. So finally, they decided to make it earlier in the afternoon. Zok the Gemara. Okay, so we just had we said that Shmuel and Abelazar. So as we said, the Machlokes Rishon. Some say they're saying exactly the same thing. Some say no. Rabbi Eliezer Shmuel are on the same path, but Rabbi Eliezer took it one step further. Shmuel said you're allowed to use tzaracha b'pas and be mevazeh it, but you can't be mafsid it. And Rabbi Eliezer said you're even allowed to be mafsid it, and therefore you're allowed to use it to wash your hands. Everyone is moida by kosher bracha shem avarcha ma'achit al techamayim. That you can't make a bracha, kosher bracha, until you put in some water. My time, what's the reason? And it's not mitzvah menamufcha to drink it, and it's repugnant that there's no water in it. It's very difficult to drink.
Why is it difficult?
Because it's very useless.
Strong, right?
Yeah, 50% alcohol. It was very. So Gemara Rabbanon l'may chazi, and the Rabbanon say that you can make better pregaf. It's mitzvah menamufcha to add wine with the water with the wine, but you're allowed to make better pregaf. But how could you drink it? You could use it for something called kuraiti, which Rashi says is anumlis and aluntis, which is a Gemara in Shabbos, that the end of Shabbos that they used to, those days when they went out of the Beis HaMerchetz, they as a medicine to calm down the goof, they used to take wine without water, they'd put in a little bit of honey and pepper and some salt, they'd mix it, they'd take a little shot. That would was very good. After the shvitz. After the shvitz.
Do you know what I'm thinking while we learn this Gemara? We have by a Meitzalachem and Aretz, I think, you make Alan Tias L'Dayan, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but do you make a Meitz and then go looking for the salt, or you first get the salt?
You're supposed to get first the salt, but
and then make a Meitz.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, maybe the machlaikas, again, I'm just guess. Maybe they're saying the guy has in front of him a glass of such of this wine that's very strong and so on. Can he make a bracha and then they'll geese in some water and they'll drink it, or it should be prepared before he makes it? Very careful.
It's called oivel asiyosman, right?
Right. It's not bad. It's machavin even. Toisves machavin to Toisves. Toisves says later the Gemara says there's a whole bunch of things about kosher bracha. And one is that it has to be, you have to pour it chai. So here we say, l'chol alma moedim, you have to have water inside.
Yeah.
And later the Gemara says, l'chol alma moedim, there has to be chai. Yeah. So one answer Tosis gives, chai means that the kois has to be a nice, good kois. Okay. The other teretz, the first teretz is what you're saying. Tosis says like this, that you have to, when you pour it into the kosher bracha, or when you take it out of the barrel, you put it in the kosher bracha, it has to be pure, non-diluted wine.
Yeah.
Choshev yayin. I smell it. Strong
and this
wine.
You make the bracha.
Then you add the water. And there's somebody trying to say not to add the water until you already started Birchas HaMazon. By Birchas HaOretz, that's when you add some water. And as he mentioned, the Mekubalim do that till today. They put in the wine, they fill up a kosher bracha, and then they add a little bit of water.
Except for Abdullah. Abdullah they don't.
I had some guests in my house and told me to do it, and I didn't know why.
Because it's a pashtus, it's only a pikabon.
All the
Rishonim bring it because they answer the stira. Here we say, later it says they have to, our kosher bracha has to be chai. And here we say you have to add water. So when you put it into the kois, it's to be chai. Later you add some water. When later? So some say right before Birchas HaMazon, others Birchas HaOretz. But the Beis Yosef says,
what's it even if I put the water in the wine before I put it in the cup or after? What is?
It could be it's like a chashivus. It's like
by putting it in a cup, I'm not ready to drink until I put water into it.
It's like I came to a chasna in Miami.
Okay.
From David Yosef.
Yeah.
It was very fancy chasna, beautiful chasna, okay. Beautiful chasna.
Okay.
And over there, so they had a bar, right?
Right.
Why can't you put pictures of drinks in the tech? Nah, say choshen. You have alle mashkoes, and they put into your kois a vodka, a little this, and an ice, and a cherry.
Let's make it
and a toothpick. So that's it. They put in the fresh yayin, and then they add,
so make it chashivas. Then you could make the bracha very offensive.
Yeah,
that's what the Gemara said. Because in the olden days, I understand that the wine taka was choshev. Only if you have
water.
If not, it's like vinegar. You can drink it.
Right. But it seemed like a davar choshev. Kilo, I brought you fresh yayin. I put it in the kois, and then you added water now. But there are those that say that the reason to add water later is al pi Kabbalah, which we'll get to that, the Mitzvah Shem, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week or the following week, as brought in the Beis Yosef. And it's not Minik Chabad, but there are people that Adar Yom Hazeh, that if it's because those days the wine was not drinkable unless you added water, so Bisman Hazeh is different. Because Bisman Hazeh fakir. Bisman Hazeh, take a choshev of wine and you give it to a wine taster and add a little bit of water.
You kill it.
Throw it in your face. Yeah, you ruined my wine.
You ruined the wine.
So, if the reason to add water is partial because it's not drinkable, so Bisman said that is not negaya. But if the reason is Kabbalah, as we'll get to that, it is negaya. So taka, that's why in Chabad we don't add wine.
But people add water.
There are who add water. We don't add water because we say the whole reason is partial because those days wine was not drinkable. But now it is drinkable. Faket, it's more kosher.
We did not see the Rebbe when he made Kiddush to water.
No, never. The Rebbe didn't do that.
Because
we did not see
maybe? Because they shouldn't...
No, not because of a gam. They say a Kabbalah, there's an Indian to add a little bit of water.
3 drops.
Zogen the Chassidische Svarim, that's a Shaykh this week's Parsha.
By Noach, he drank.
Noach wanted to be metaki in the Chet of Adam Rishon. Yesha Imrim, that it was Geffen Hoya. So what was the problem? That he should have added a little bit of water. So he was going to be metaki in the Chet of Adam Rishon. The problem is that he didn't add water. And that's why it says in the Medrash that it was Epizaloshin that he drank and it was too much. So too much what? Too much wine and not enough water. So that was his mistake.
Instead of metaki, and he went down.
Yeah. Because really, if he would have used it for koshel brocha, also say that Rashi says Lashon Chazal that he made chulin. Had he used the wine for hegdish, for koshel brocha, and for bichas hamazon, he would have added wine because that's the din. You have to add water. Volte nicht gewonnen schicke. Volte gewen gut. But because he drank it as chulin, not as a koshel brocha.
He did not add water.
Yeah,
so
because he not too much
alcohol.
What is that? Well, if he would drink it as a kosher bracha, he would know. Steht befehligt in Gemara brachas. That fnunon mit beis. That lekulei alma, you have to add water. Wollte nicht gewonnen schicker azay. There wouldn't be a takola. But because he drank it as chulin, not as a kosher bracha, so he didn't add water. He's a gewonnen schicker von zufel liquor, and then the whole story happened with his son.
Yeah, but there's a whole Medrash says that he had a partner with the son.
Okay.
And the son shechted, whatever.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Monkey, a pig.
But more to come back after Yom Tovim and we start learning Gemara again. And the Gemara we're starting to learn is the Shaykhs with the Parsha. The Shaykh of the Parsha. That Noach Be'emes had given us the Gemara that we're learning today. Yeah. And Lamai, his only mistake was that instead of using the first wine for Hegdish, he used it for Chulin. Had he used it for Hegdish,
it wouldn't have happened.
Good. He would have added water. But because he used it for Chulin, it's given good.
The teacher Allah, you have to dilute. If you want to get close to the Eibishter Fadush, you have to dilute yourself. You can't
today the wine is...
Zufel von sich allein. Never noch a day.
Yeah, there is a wine called Yang.
Chaim Miller had gesagt that they once asked him to do a batchonas for one of the Rebbe Shachasnas. I think it was maybe the Pnei Menachem. He was not a guy that was into laughing. So Dafne Machen a joke that if the Rebbe's not going to laugh, you know what I mean? You didn't, So he said that he has to say a joke to make the Rebbe laugh. So by them, that you don't put on Rabbeinu Tam till they're a chosin. So he said, what's the Tam? So he said, because now that he's getting married, they want him to know that there is another opinion of it. So don't know Chadei Echet. He said the Pnei Menachem broke out in a big laughter. Again, he had his day. So B'meila, sagst du, that Noach had gedacht wissen, dass dann noch Chadei Echet. Okay. Let's continue the Gemara.
What we see that we put one in the Mizbeach, it's...
Right.
But it gets we don't drink from it, it just goes down. You give it up to the Eibishter.
Right.
The excitement is when you put water on the mizbeach,
Right.
not wine.
Right. This is Chamayim Dafke. Yeah. Tone Rabbanon. Dalet Dvarim Nemru Bepas. There's 4 things about Pas. What are the 4 dinim in Pas? Number 1, Ein Manichim Basar Chai Ala Pas. You're not allowed to put raw meat on the Pas. It ruins it.
Health?
No, because it ruins it, Pashat.
Who
Bloody.
put raw meat on bread? Doesn't, I mean, it's
Like sushi. Sushi, you put the raw
that's
fish.
fish, right?
But that's not
raw
really
meat. It's bloody and it's going to ruin the meat. Ve'im avirin kois.
You mean it's going to ruin the past?
Yeah, ruin the Pas.
Why would someone do it? 'Cause to store the meat? He has nowhere else to store the meat.
You want to make a
Nah.
sandwich. You want to make a
You
sandwich.
get sick of raw meat. You can't eat
Nah,
raw
I
meat.
don't think so. I think, I don't know, but it could be. It was like maybe Amol was like a, it's like Psadova Shel Chashivus. A guest came inside, and on the table there was like, you know, like a window. Sometimes a restaurant or something they'll have in the window.
Display.
Yeah, display. So maybe they would have such a thing like a.
You could say, I would say, Pashut, in a crowded kitchen, you don't have so much room on your table. You have to put this on top of that. So they're telling you this,
maybe. Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Another thing is Emavir and Koisim all ala pas. A kois with liquid, you're not allowed to pass it on top of the pasta because it might spill, and then the pasta will become mousse,
So,
and no one can eat
so
it.
who's this like? Is this like a Relazzo? This is like.
It's for sure not. The Belazar would not agree with this, but Tosfos says that Shmuel will agree with this. When did Shmuel say, again, Tosfos L'Shitosah, that Shmuel and Belazar are not exactly the same. When did Shmuel say that you're allowed to make Sirach of a pass? If you're going to be a little bit Mavaza the pass, or Mavaza, you can't be Mafsid the pass. So that's what Tosfos says, that even Shmuel would agree to this Lahilchasa, to this Baraisa. Ein manichin bos a chay ala pas, ben wir in koismol ala pas, ben zurkin as a pas.
But the Sfarim throw the bread to the table by Shabbat. Then Shabbat, if you go to Sfarim, they throw the bread to the people. It's a kavod. That's what they do.
You're not supposed to throw. You're supposed to not give it to the hand.
They
but
go
you're
like
not-
this.
I know, it's a good question. Because it's brought that you're not supposed to put it in the
throw.
hand, because that's a union of Avelus. Because Avelus, like it says in Eicha, ein persa beyoda ve'ein menachem lo. Nichem Avelam is in a way that you give the persons the bread in the hand. Yiducharaya, that it's a bad, it's not, you don't want to do it unless it's an oval. So that you don't want to put the bread in the hand. But you're right, I see in houses that they throw the bread. To be very nizar not to throw it. You have to put it on a plate and pass the plate around.
That's that's
Or
a good
a little
way.
pass it,
Put
you know,
it, yeah,
but not
throw, not throw. I don't
Sfarim,
know
they
what.
take off the
take
whole
off
loaf. Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah,
The
I think
Sfarim
so.
themselves,
Just years ago
most
was
of them
Sfarim,
use
yeah.
pita.
They throw.
They don't
no,
even
you're not
use
supposed to
pita.
throw. No, not supposed to throw. I think it's a minik toast. You're not allowed to throw. Ve'in zerk as a pass.
Maybe they shove it. They don't throw it like
Right.
football. They shove it.
Yeah, a little bit to shove it maybe, but I see you. I know what you're saying. You have to be careful not to throw bread. Ve'in semchin as a kor of a pass. You're not allowed to, if your plate is a little crooked, you're not allowed to put a piece of bread under it to straighten out your plate.
A holder.
Yeah. Sagt die Gemara, Amem, Marzutra, Vravashi, these 3. Kor Charifta Badadodi, they ate together bread. Also, look at my Tamri, Vremonim, they brought Remonim and Tmonim,
7 meat.
dates, yeah, from the 7. Chok, Marzutra, Razuta took, put the Klakamei Rebashi, he threw in front of Rebashi, dustana, a nice big portion, full of dates, full of Rimoinim, pomegranates, don't you hold of the Braisa? Ain't Zerkin as Euchem, you're not allowed to throw Euchel. So he said, I have a pass. That was talking about pass. So that's it. I have a pass, Tanya. It's only talking about bread. I didn't throw bread. So Vatanya Kshem, Shein Zerkin as a pass, Kach, Ain't Zerkin as Euchel. And Rabashi said, no. There's another Braisa that says, just like you don't throw bread, you don't throw any food. Amar Loi Marzutra answered, the Tanya, but we also learned in a different Braisa, Afa Bishain Zerkin as a pass, even though you're not allowed to throw bread, Aval Zerkin as Euchel, and you're allowed to throw Euchel. So we see a contradiction from one Braisa to the other. One Braisa compares pass to Euchel, you're not allowed to throw anything. And the other one says, no, you're allowed to throw Euchel, you're not allowed to throw pass. Elul Kasha. The answer is that there is no question here. There's depends if it becomes mos or not mos. So it seems to me there's a machlokes Rishonim over here. What's the pshat in the answer to the Gemara? Some Rishonim learn that bread And all food in halachas is exactly the same halacha. And the you have to say the Gemara's answer is like this. That I would say like this: bread is easily, as we'll see later from the Gemara, bread easily becomes mos. It's not like other things.
Get wet.
Yeah, easily becomes a little wet. Bread becomes mos. A banana, an apple doesn't easily become mos, but bread easily becomes mos. So therefore, one brais is machalikas from bread because this not. But din really the same. It depends. If it becomes mos and now it's hefsed oichlim, it's also. If it doesn't become mos,
depends.
It's mutter. That's some rishonim. Other rishonim hold, and Rashi b'chlolim hold no, that pas is more choshuv. Because pas alechem levade yichya adam, lo yal alechem levade ki moitze pi Hashem, but alechem levade enish yisad. That is the capital Tehillim say today.
Bread and water.
Yeah. So a person, the ida of the leiv, and even if a person eats all kinds of foods, matzinu b'toyre neviim b'ksuvim, says Rashi, that ve'ekach pas lechem v'sa'adu lipchem, that what satisfies the heart is only bread. So there's a chashivus to bread, and that's why there's a special bracha, moitze lechem na'oretz. So therefore a person has to give more kavod to bread. The whole reason you're not allowed to be mevaz oichlin is that Rashi says in the Maseches Tainis Daf Chof that the kebevad betoive shenois na Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Eibishter gives you good, and you mevaz. Why mevaz it? The Eibishter gives you good things. Why mevaz it? So within the good things, pas is more choshev than everything else. So these Rishonim hold like this: the bread you're never allowed to throw. Never allowed to throw, even if you're not going to be
mevaz it.
Yeah, just even if it's not going to be half, I don't care. So, other foods, basically, bread, you're not allowed to be mevaz even. Other foods, you can be mevaz.
It depends.
You can be mevaz, but you can't make it mos. You can't make it mos.
You could do it, but don't.
You can't make it mos.
Mos meaning getting dirty or what?
Yeah. Can't make it mos.
Somebody sent me on the video that there's a rebel involved. I forgot the name. He give apples, so you see him like take the apples and throw.
No, they throw.
On the table.
Yeah, the Hasidic Rebbes throw apples. They try to catch it.
So
I asked one.
Nice. It's really nice.
So some Rishonim will hold that. Obviously, that's also you're not allowed
it says
to.
before any food you're not allowed to.
No, but
What's
some.
considered oichel? Oichel is
Yeah,
more
the
choshev bread.
Rebbes, for some reason,
Right,
they
that's what you're
throw
saying, bread.
apples.
Oichel is less kosher. Bread, those Rishonim say. Some Rishonim say, oh, depends. Yeah, mos, not mos. Some Rishonim say, yeah, mos, not mos. That's it. The bottom line is, it becomes mos, not mos. Anything, if it becomes mos, you're not allowed to throw it. No. It's all everything to do. Yeah, mos, not mos. That's some Rishonim learn.
But apple, if you throw it, it won't become mos unless he makes a dent and hits the floor.
Right.
No, but once it's oichel, because it's oichel, you're not allowed to.
Some say it depends, but yeah, mos, not mos. And I think that's really more noted. The halach is that way. Becomes mos, not. I don't care bread. I don't care anything else. Becomes mos, not mos. That's it. That's the bottom line. And we pass like Shmuel that you're allowed to be mevaz oichlin. So therefore, you're even going to be allowed to lean a plate on it, and you're allowed to use it as a spoon or as a bowl. You're allowed to, but you're not allowed to make hefsed oichlin. That's why you're not allowed to make it mos. But some hold no. Bread is more choshuv. You're not allowed to be mevaz bread.
What about the Sheva Minim here? Isn't the Pasuk Eretz Chita Sarah talks about the first wheat barley, then it mentions the 7 fruits in Eretz Yisrael. So it doesn't have that chashivus by itself from the Pasuk itself. So is he allowed to throw the rimon here, the dates that he threw?
We see that the Gemara is not machalik. Even it's true what you're saying. It's true what you're saying that they're more choshev than all their oichlim. We see the Gemara is not machalik. The Gemara is just machalik in past and every all their oichlim. I'm sorry, it's so I would be machalik, but the Gemara is not.
Maybe it's so Sfardim that when it comes to Birkas Hamazon on bread, they have to leave on the table like a big piece, and they put the 2 hands and kiss it. That's how. Whatever they have this, but you should.
Chashivus. So back to the minig, even though I think it might be a toss, but could be a hilchas. It's not that bad when the person throws bread, because according to the many Rishonim that hold, and it seems that that's the halacha, that I don't care between pas and all the other echel. The bottom line is it becomes mos or not mos. In other words, we don't care about bizay echel, but we do care about mius of echel. If echel is going to get mos and therefore be nifsad, That's
We
absolutely
know
awesome.
before that when you give the bread, the bread that's left over, that you want to give it to the board and this, you're not allowed to throw it. You're supposed to put
Put it
it.
on the floor.
Good, this is totally in the shaila.
No, but it's not food to eat. You're not going to eat it anymore because it's all forever, and you're going to give it to the bird outside. You're not allowed to throw it. Just to throw it.
And they have to show they put by a tree.
But
see
the point is that
there's
you
a
have to put
place.
it down, not to throw it.
Yeah.
Tony Ramona, Mamshich Yain B'Tzinoris Lefnei Chosin Lefnei Kala. They're allowed to spritz the wine in front of the chosin, in front of the kala.
Oh, like we were saying.
V'zerk lefnim klois v'goizim. You're allowed to throw in front of them.
Just the minute of the offer.
Yeah, exactly. This is the meaning of the fruit because it's a. Right.
You're not allowed to throw food, so how you throw it by chosin?
How do you
Maybe it's
go?
wrapped up.
How do you go?
So Rashi's going to say, no, Meisach Chama v'lo Meisach Shaman in summer because it doesn't become most.
Doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't become most. Tak, it's a bizoyim for the food, but there's no
You're allowed to
hefset.
do it because
There's no hefset. There's no hefset.
It's not meals.
Right.
It's a bizil, but not meals.
That's why Rashi says the difference of Meisach Chama and Meisach Shaman. Because Meisach Shaman, there is puddles in the floor,
So it's
and it becomes most,
Then you're
and it's hefset. Oichel not allowed to. Ava loy gluskos, but bread you're not allowed to do. Loy be Meisach Chama, but loy be Meisach Shaman. Rashi says why bread is different.
It's Hashiv.
So the tzlach says because it's choshev. Rashi says no. Rashi says poshet because bread becomes easily mos. So the tzlach asks why couldn't Rashi just say simple because bread is more choshev. As I said before, I think the answer is very simple. Rashi holds like the Rishonim that the lamaskon the Gemara bread and all other has no difference because really it's mashma from Shmuel that way. That there's no difference between bread and everything else. The bottom line is if you're going to be mevazah the food, I don't care. But if you're going to make the food maz, hefsid, that you're not allowed to do. So that's why Rashi says, so why you're not allowed to throw danishes, bread, why you're not... So Rashi says, Zaposha, because if you throw bread, it falls on the floor, it becomes maz, no one's going to eat it. But hey, Nemes, if you hold like the Rishonim, that bread are more chashiv than other oichling, so then you could say poshet. You're not allowed to throw gluskos in the chaz megala
because it's a mos.
because poshet. Because it's a bizoyin, even if it doesn't become mos. But as I said, I think in Shulchan Aruch is noite that halach is like Shmuel. There's most of the Rishonim are noite to say that halach is like Shmuel. Not that Shmuel and Rebbe Lezer are not exactly the same thing. Rebbe Lezer says you're allowed to have hefsed oichel and bizoy oichel. So Rebbe Shmuel and Rebbe Lezer are both nitcha ma'aloch. So then we pass like Chacham. Chacham say you're not allowed to have bizoy oichel. But according to Tosfos, there's three shittas here. Chacham say you're not allowed to have even bizoy oichel. Rabbi Shmuel says you're allowed to have bizoy but not hefsed oichel. And Rabbi Lezer says you're allowed to do sai bizoy and sai hefsed oichel. And we hold the middle shit. You're allowed to have bizoy but you're not allowed to have hefsed oichel. So l'chayr it's mastaba. There's no that like Rashi that's the maskonas Gemara. There is no difference between pas and other foods, and we don't say there's a special cheshivas for pas. Lagabi this. But the bottom line is you're allowed to be mevaz oichel, but you're not allowed to be mafsed oichel. Therefore, Tosfos says that even though there's a tesefta that says you're not allowed to use bread to make it as a bowl, like they're doing sometimes fancy chasnas, or make it as a spoon. But the Tosfos says that that's shaloki hilchasa, because the hilchasa is really like Shmuel, that you're allowed to be mevaz oichel as long as you're not mafsed, but you're not mafsed because you're planning to eat the bread, the bowl. It says, as I said before, today by fancy chasnas, maybe it would be also because
No one eats it.
no one eats it. They throw it in the garbage. So it's taka hefset. But Tosfos gives an eitzah. That eitzah is that to eat a little bit.
Part of the
If you give it to the animals, is that considered also? In other words, if you take the food that you don't eat,
And give it to the animals.
is that considered?
No, that's already.
It's a good shayla. We have to deal with it tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem. Just to wrap it up, one more shayla which I mentioned before. This brings us back to the shayla that I mentioned in the beginning of the shir, that there is a minig goyim that New Year's Eve or when they win a sports game or when they take the champagne and get a spritz. So l'choyde that's hefsed oichel also. However, there are some Rishonim that say different than Rashi. Rashi says mamshich yaim b'tzenoides mishum simen toiv ve'en kam mishum bezoyim ve'efsed levisha mekabel Moshe beroish pi hatziner b'kli. They would spritz the wine like this and then mekabel it here. Other Rishonim say no, they would spritz it into the ear and it would get lost. But wine, because it's such a big mazel toiv and simen toiv and simcha, that it's an exception, and it's mutter to be mafsed wine. lekovet chosen lekala. So maybe if you're mutter to be mafsid wine lekovet chosen lekala, so maybe lekovet such a big win of a team.
Of the Mets winning.
Yeah, Efshe will give it. Efshe will give it mutter. So v'meile loy doz rishonim tzarechim maybe be mutter.
But when it,
in Hasnas in Yerushalayim, they take real wheat.
Yeah, because that's klois vegoizim. It's mash from the Gemara. Klois vegoizim.
But that
Klois is
The Goyim take rice
that's a
and they
real,
throw.
klois is
Wheat.
wheat.
Rice.
real
Wheat.
what's
Wheat.
the sign?
It's a simon toy.
There's a similar
It's a simon
It's a
toy.
simon bracha.
It's a simon bracha.
universal thing.
It's a simon bracha. It's really what it is. It's a simon of plenty. It's a
Yeah.
similar plenty.
Fertility.
It's yeah.
But
It's
once bread becomes moldy, you're allowed to throw it out, but you have to do it
With cover. You have to
with
put
cover.
it back.
Put it in a
Yeah,
bag.
We'll get to
plastic.
Shulchan Aruch Mitzvah tomorrow. Yeah. Okay.
Go to